Because you see, very often in our mind, we think, yes, we have to do something to come to the point of realization. No? We have to do that, we have to do this, we have to do that. No, it's not true. It happened in a fraction of a second. The least you expected, then it happened. What you do through your sadhana, what you do through your spiritual practices is just purification. You're purifying yourself. Like I was saying in one of the satsang, Sri Ramakrishna, how did he attain realization? He was just walking in the field when he was young, looking at a crane flying. Just at that precise moment, he felt into that deep ecstasy, that divine bliss inside of him awake. Just by observing a crane flying. Did he do any sadhana? Did he do any great penance? No. It just happened. From one moment to the other. People ask me about my spiritual journey. I didn't do any sadhana. I didn't do any meditation. I didn't do any great penance or great chanting, or I was not sitting in the Himalayas in the cave and I just came out and revealed, hey, I am here. No, it didn't. I just woke up 21st April 1994. Everything have transformed for me. Everything, it was a new reality. Maybe I'm getting the year wrong, but so it was a different perspective of life. I remember I told my mom, I don't want to go to college anymore. That kind of life is finished. There was a certitude and that clarity. It didn't happen, it just happened just in a fraction of a moment. Not through any sadhana, not through big deep meditation or anything else. And that is the moment which you are waiting, to happen. And it is there. Bhagavan have not called you on this path. Bhagavan have not given his name just because it is in vain. But you are busy with the whole world. You are busy with your own pride and ego. You are busy with your own selfish happiness. But you can't see the bigger picture. You can't perceive, but there is a purpose behind that. So, is there different between Jaya Vijaya? They knew. They never forget about it. That's why even being an enemy of God, they're constantly thinking about Him. Maybe with not the same mood, but that's what attract Bhagavan to come here. So if they could think in that mood of God, and make God descend, what about you people? What is the defect inside of you that God doesn't manifest for you yet? It's not enough. You should ask yourself, like in the Shandila Bhajan, am I doing enough? Am I truly, sincerely surrendering? And like I said, you see, for Bhagavan to send you here, in this world, don't think that He have left you. He have His ways in reminding you. Sometimes we don't realize it. We have heard stories how, yesterday itself, you see how people, something have changed inside of them, how they were called onto that path. Some in a very funny way, some in a strange way. No, as we are talking right now, there's a beautiful story of you see, for sometimes India was colonized by the British, But there is one temple, Marva Agar temple, where Lord Shiva is worshipped in the form of a doctor. So during the British rules, there was a colonel by the name of Martin. Beautiful story, actually. And you see, during the British rules, they brought lots of missionaries to evangelize India. And of course, when missionaries come, they will not evangelize in a nice way, So you have seen what they did in Latin America. You have seen what they do in the world itself, because people think that they are the only one who hold God as capture, the truth. So during this time, there was this colonel, Martin. So there was a war, I think it was in, I can't remember the year, 1739, something like that, between the Afghan and the British. So he was in the war. So he have promised his wife that he will write to give news to her. So after the war, after a few days, letters were coming, and then the letters stopped coming. So the wife got worried. So one day she was going in her chariot. Yes, chariot, and she heard bell and conch being blown and heard music. So she was wondering, and she asked, "What is it here?" So they said, "Oh, this is a temple for Lord Shiva." So she went down, and of course, she didn't know about Lord Shiva. She didn't know anything about the Hindu culture. So the devotees of Lord Shiva saw her and were wondering, it's a British lady, and but she don't look happy. So then they asked her, what is wrong? So she said, my husband used to write to me, but then he stopped writing. And they assure her that, listen, just chant Om Namah Shivaya for 11 days. I'm sure Lord Shiva will protect and will give you news for your husband, You see how Bhagavan called his people, How he remind the people. So as she did that, for 11 days she was chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. On the other side, on the other place with her husband, they were surrounded by the enemies. So they were surrounded by the enemies, and the enemies was going to attack and kill them all. At that precise moment when they were all losing hope, a man just appeared with matted lock, matted hair, and holding a trident in the hand, and start fighting with the enemies. So they were all shocked, and all the enemies start running away from all direction. So after they all have run away, that man came in front of him, of the colonel, Martin, and said, "It is by the grace of your wife's prayer that you have been saved. She have sent me, through her sincere prayer, she have sent me to protect you. Go back home, be fearless. You will be success. You will have great success into your life." So sending him home, after a few days he reached home. He was telling, we were saved because of this great yogi who just appeared out of nowhere and then started fighting the enemy. Then the wife said, "Oh, I went to a temple, Vedraj Mahadev, so we have to go and say thank you to the deity there." So when he came to the temple, to his shock, when he looked at how Lord Shiva is portrayed there in that temple, it was exactly the image of that yogi. So he realized that it was Lord Shiva who have called him. And so both husband and wife became great devotee of Lord Shiva. And then this is the only temple in India which were constructed by the British. So they construct the whole temple. And even now when you go to this temple, like they say, the names is written there. So you see, the mystery of how Bhagwan called his devotee is amazing, And that's why I say this, well, everybody's life, there is always a story behind there. Because you belong to him. When you belong to him, he will find his ways of calling you. The same way, he have to come to liberate Jaya Vijaya for this free life itself. The same way. Countless of lives you have come. Again and again, he will come and reminding you of his love and relationship to you. So, Jai Gurudev, everyone.